disconnected. Sorry, the connection just went off, so we had to change connection. And the moment we changed connection, that one ended. So had to start again. So I'll have to post the two separately, one after the other. Since YouTube doesn't have an option of linking. Thank you, Jare. Sorry, it just went off. Yes, sorry. But I was seeing the chat. I was seeing the chat. So I had to restart again. So I'm just going to wait a little while for people to come back online, then we'll continue. Don't mind. Okay, so that won't stay too long because it's already 9:39 right now. Won't stay too long. Let me just continue. Everybody come along and the video will be up for everybody to watch later. So as I was saying, okay, yes, someone was actually pointing out, I said because of Saul for Jonah. He didn't do it for Saul, he did it for Jonah. Because of you, let me just do this thing for this person. You understand? That is what our character should do for people. And it's an important part because whatever God is going to do, He's still going to pass it to you through men. He can place the spiritual aspect on you, but the physical aspect still has to be delivered by men, by human beings. So how we behave matters. The word. And you know, I was using that example of Dangote. See him he continues to flourish because no matter the president in power, he respects and he relates with each one of them. He doesn't have any political leaning. And do you know the funny thing, Seth? We are busy abusing politicians up and down. Do you see amongst themselves, they are still friends, still going to each other's this thing. That's why all of them still keep being relevant and rising, because they are all still friends with each other. They still attend, their children are still marrying each other. They are still doing everything. They are still signing contracts for each other. And you, that you are outside, that God wants to bring you inside by using them as access for you, you are busy abusing the access, shutting the door against them. Let's even come down to not political level. How many of you, and you know the saddest thing about this, sometimes we do not even know that we've closed a door against ourselves because we don't see the physical manifestation of that closed door immediately. But do you know there are some people that simply because of the way you have behaved online, you have behaved to some people, you have lost business opportunities because someone has seen it and said, no, I'm not going to deal with this person. I don't want any business dealings with this person. And you'll just be going on. You won't know something has happened that closed the door against you. Please, your character, the words of your mouth to people, your attitude, your behavior to people, it matters. It matters. In fact, let me even tell you the funny thing, Dave. Even yesterday, me self, I faced something like that. Not because I said anything bad. No, I'll never say anything bad. But yesterday, I needed the help of someone who used to be a friend, a very, very close friend. But somehow I just got too busy to start calling, and I've not spoken to her in 5 years. Yesterday, I now needed a help that she could have been the perfect person to help me with. Do you know I could not call her? I know some of you have no shame. You can still call the person and say, "Ah, long time and everything. Please, I need your help." But no, me, I get shame. Mm-mm. I've not called you for 5 years. I'll now call you to ask for help. No, no, I don't do things like that. But I was now telling my brother, I said, imagine if I'd kept the door open and just been saying hello over time. How are the children? This one. It will not be a difficult thing for me to now immediately reach out to her and say, I need your help with this thing. No, can you help me with this? I need so access. But now I could not. I'm now having to look for someone else who can be of that help to me. And it just reminded me again. In fact, let me read the place that God told me to use to teach you this. I'm going to read it in the Passion Translation for simplicity. It's a long verse, it's a long passage, but that is where I'm going to end today's teaching. Then next week, I will continue what I wanted to continue last week. The dishonest manager, Luke chapter 16, verses 1 to 9. Luke 16, verses 1 to 9. I'm reading from the Passion Translation for simplicity. Jesus taught his disciples using this story. Once, a very rich man hired a manager to run his business and oversee all his wealth. But soon, a rumor spread that the manager was wasting his master's money. So the master called him in and said, "Is it true that you are mismanaging my estate? You need to provide with a complete audit of everything you oversee for me. I've decided to dismiss you." The manager thought, "Now what am I going to do? I'm finished here. I can't hide what I've done, and I'm too proud to beg. I have an idea that will secure my future. It will win me favor and secure friends who can take care of me and help me when I get fired." So the dishonest manager hatched his scheme. He went to everyone who owed his master money one by one and asked them, "How much do you owe my master?" One debtor owed $20,000. So he said to him, "Let me see your bill. Pay me now and we'll settle for 20% less." The clever manager scratched out the original amount owed and reduced it by 20%. And to another who owed $200,000, he said, "Pay me now and we'll reduce your bill by 50%. And the clever manager scratched out the original amount owed and reduced it by half. Even though his master was defrauded, when he found out about the shrewd way this manager had feathered his own nest, he congratulated the clever scoundrel for what he had done to provide for his future. Let me tell you what he did here. He reduced the debts so that those people he reduced the debts for, they will take them a favor. So when he loses his job and he goes to these people for help, they will be obliged to help him because they believe he has done them a favor. Do you get what he did? Sure, he had people who will be of help to him as at the time he will need their help. So now he had a whole lot of people who owed him help. And that's why the master he said he congratulated the clever scoundrel for what he had done to provide for his future. Now look at what Jesus ended up this with. Jesus continued. He said, remember this. The sons of darkness interact more wisely than the sons of light. Do you see that? That is where he said the children of this world are wiser than the children of the kingdom. Unbelievers understand this strategy. We don't. Believers are always thinking, oh, me, I will talk it all because what is right, what is wrong. No, God is not saying you should follow them to do bad. No, that is not what he's saying. What he's telling you is the fact that you should be on good terms with everybody. Do you know you can be on good terms with a sinner, and the sinner will not even use any sinful thing to try you? Someone was telling me recently, she was saying her family, her extended family, they're believers. They're always telling her to do bad things, to do like sacrifice, like Sarah, like this one. And she doesn't believe in those things and all that. So she's avoiding them. And I smiled. I said, do you see how many unbelievers are my friends? Not only people who are from another religion, even people who are atheists. They are my friends. But none of them will ever ask me to do anything ungodly. I said, why? Because they know I am godly. So even as we are friends, they don't cross that boundary. I said, so what is in your life that has not so proven Christ that they can be using such things, that they can be giving you such advice? I said, so it's not an indictment on them, it's an indictment on you. It is you that your godliness has not been made so obvious that even if they are discussing it, they will say, just keep Rayo out of it. You know she will not do it. I said, so the issue is not to avoid them. Connection is unstable. So the issue is not to avoid them. The issue is that let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify God in you. That is the solution. It's not avoiding. That's what God is saying here. Is this okay? You can hear me? Okay. So they can see your good works and glorify God. You are friends with unbelievers should not affect your faith. It should not mean you will do things against the will of God. No. But it's the fact that even God said, he said, when a man's ways please the Lord, he makes all his enemies to be at peace with him. He makes his enemies to be at peace with him. So why are you not at peace with them to the point that you are now running away from them? Pastor Koju said something. He said, many of you, if you go to work in an organization that is filled with unbelievers, he said the typical Christian believer will resign. He said, that's our solution to everything. Will resign. He said, and we are forgotten. Moses was raised in Pharaoh's house. Moses that was to deliver the Israelites. God sent him to Pharaoh's house. He was raised as Pharaoh's child. In their religion, he was taught their religion, taught everything. We have forgotten Daniel. Daniel in Babylon was put Do you know the department he was put in was an advisor to the king? Who were the advisors to the king? Soothsayers, necromancers, magicians, all this in quotation, babalawo community. And he was put as head over them. Every other person under him was a non-believer. If it is your typical Christian right now, the next thing we have to do is to resign. No. Yes, juju men. The next thing we have to do is to resign. You see how we do ourselves? You see how we do ourselves? We do not understand. We live in a world of men. And both unbelievers and believers are people God used for us. It was Pharaoh God used to preserve the life of Moses. It was Pharaoh God used to make Joseph prime minister, to save his people during the famine. It was an unbeliever that God used to lift Daniel in Babylon. You see that? If you have now made enemies of all these so-called unbelievers, do you think they will help you? Unbelievers understand these things. That's why you will see unbelievers. They are friends with both believers and non-believers. They are friends with people of their religion, with people who are not of their religion, and they keep rising. Do you think when they were discussing it, see, let me give you one this thing. You think when they were discussing politics, they were considering faith, or who is a believer or who is not a believer in it? No, the only reason they considered it was simply because to win election. If it didn't matter in election, they would not consider it. And can I tell you, even Christian ticket, Muslim ticket, they are still campaigning for votes of both Christians and both Muslims. It is human beings, no matter what, they matter. They matter. Stop isolating people and saying, I will not relate with this one, I will not relate with this one. This one is not this one is not that one. God is not telling you to be intimate with them. He's not telling you to do the things they do. He said, be on good terms with everyone. Just simply be on good terms with everyone. But let them see the light in you so much that they will know there are some things they cannot even mention in your hearing. There's nobody right now who can come to me and say, Lagos housewife, come and do Sarah. No, it's not possible, because they know me. They know me. It's not possible. So if you think by moving with them that will happen, it's an indictment on you that your belief in God is not yet obvious to all. The light in you is not yet shining to all. If it is, people will respect that light. Look at so many men of God. Look at Daddy Adeboye. Everybody who wants to become president goes to him, whether on opposing or not on opposing team. But do you think they will tell him to do anything? Do you think they will tell him, okay, can you gather your members to carry ballot boxes for us? They won't. They won't. Even if they are planning it, they won't tell him they are planning such a thing. But yet they will go to him. And he will say it. He said, everybody that comes to me, he will pray for them. And it's the same prayer he will pray for everybody. May the will of God be done in your life. Full stop. That's the same prayer he will pray for every single person. Look at Pastor Poju running the platform. Do you see the people he brings to the platform? Is it based on religion? Is it on intelligence? You should understand you live in the world of men. Look at Apostle Joshua Selman Look at when he was celebrating his birthday. Calls from both clerics, imams, top imams, from bishops, from archbishops. It didn't matter that he's a Christian or this thing. They honor him because they see the light of God in him and he's at peace with every one of them. But no, you people, many of us seem to believe that. Yes. Which two women?